I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip and Culpy.
Alright. We continue our Grunge Week. I'm liking Grunge Week.
I am too.
Although, I'm not sure if it's because I like grunge as a genre or if it's because we're listening to the best of the best of the best of grunge.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't really know, which is which.
Mm-hmm.
But the last couple songs we've been listening to have been amazing. I've loved them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Stone Temple Pilots. I don't
Plush.
know. Yeah. I keep saying I haven't heard it, but then I heard it in the roller skating rink or I heard it in the background, so I don't know if I heard this song or not.
I
band
probably haven't.
Doesn't sound familiar to me. But I mean, who knows? Maybe this is one of those things that's been on MTV for a million times. If you want to see this one behind the scenes, if you want to see the disaster that happened in the kitchen, or the awkward thing that the kids did, check her out, My Story Life. If you want to be constantly enraged and want to choke me out, then you can check out Middle America with Vin and Sori. We just published a pretty well-documented, very...
It was extremely well documented. Somebody did their research.
For all you flat earthers out there. God almighty. All right. So this is Plush, Stone Temple Pilots, Grunge Week. Let's do it. I've heard that.
didn't really like that one, actually.
Well, that one, I feel it.
That sounded familiar to you?
That sounded very familiar to me.
Huh.
Nothing else did though. Do you have songs like that where you only hear?
That part started sounding familiar to me too, but
but
the way that it kept going, like then it didn't. When it started, I was like, oh, I think I've heard that, and then it kept going. I was like, no,
then it
no,
went
I
down
haven't.
to was it
Something I didn't.
Where are you going for tomorrow? What was the melody when that one?
I don't know.
Where are you going for tomorrow? That got repeated a lot.
Yeah.
That's what kind of
that's did me
punched me in the ribs a little bit.
Yeah, it was too much.
The last couple ones we heard with Alice and with Pearl Jam, there was a lot of variation and a lot of,
Yeah.
that Blackboard line from Pearl Jam is still so crazy to me. I just.
What were we singing about?
I was kind of confused because, and I feel that time's a wasted go. So where are you going till tomorrow? And I see that these lies are to come. So would you even care? So I'm like, okay, he's talking to his girl.
Yeah.
And I feel it and I feel it. So he's probably feeling it coming, like the end of their relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's talking about the future. It's like that, what's that, the band that we just, freaking, we shouldn't do these reviews at 3:30. That band, In Flames. Remember when he said, "I'm not eternal" or something like I can't be here forever, and then he said, "Why don't you go to nowhere with me" or something?
Yeah.
Here he's saying, "Where are you going until tomorrow?" Like she's like, "I'm out of here." Like they're having a fight, I guess.
Yeah.
And I see that these lies are that these are lies to come. Would you even care? So okay, this is a breakup, right? And I feel like he's saying, I feel it coming. But then he says, when the dogs begin to smell her.
That part is what was throwing me all off. I had no clue what we were talking about.
Well, you know what happens.
And my stomach is so upset right now thinking about dogs and smelling her.
Well, it's going to be even worse because when dogs smell it, that's like a cadaver dog.
Cadaver. I don't know what that word means.
It's a dead body. It's like when somebody's missing. They send a cadaver dog to go. You ever seen those movies? The person's missing in there with a pack of dogs.
Yeah.
So some of these people have really terrible situations. You remember that guy Peter Steele? I think his name was from Forgive All.
Yeah.
Typo.
Yeah.
I guess his girlfriend joined a cult or something like that, and she was never heard from again or something like that.
What?
Yeah, it was him. I'm pretty sure it was him.
Gosh.
Let me check, but I'm pretty sure it was either him or the dude from Machine Head.
Well, that's pretty crazy.
So some of these guys have had some pretty terrible things happen to them.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, did he get in a fight with his girl and then she ended up missing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they had to get the cadaver dogs to look for her. That would be pretty terrible. If that happened to her.
Yeah.
Can you imagine you have a fight and she's like, I'm leaving till tomorrow, but she never comes home because she got killed. So that was part of, I was like, that's the only way I could connect the two. Where are you going for tomorrow? Where are you going with the mask?
Will she smell alone?
Yeah. When the dogs begin to smell her, will she smell alone?
Oh, are they saying, is she alone when they find her?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just looking at that. I don't know if it was Peter. I don't know who it was, but there was some band that we reviewed, and somebody told me that their girlfriend was in some cult or something like that, and that they never found her or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe that happened. Maybe can you imagine?
So it's weird because I know you think that cults never do anything like that. So.
I think that.
Remember we had that whole Halloween discussion? I was like, they're sacrificing.
No, I know that cults do that. That wasn't the dispute. The dispute was whether or not there are satanic cults that do that on Halloween.
Anyway, so yeah, that would be pretty terrible.
But I that's the only way I could piece them together, because I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
a typical breakup song. He feels her, she's gonna leave him. But then, where are you going for tomorrow? Where are you going with the mask I found? I think that's like he found like who she really was, and that's why the fight was. You know, it's
Really?
like, oh, you were wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So he's like, where are you going with the mask I found?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like he finally figured out who she really was as a person, and then now she's going. So he's like, hey, I found your mask. I unmasked you. Now you're gonna leave. And then the next thing you know, the dogs are smelling her out or something.
Ah. Okay. Go to verse 2. And I feel so much depends on the weather. So it's raining in your bedroom, and I see that these are the eyes of disarray. So would you even care?
What do you got?
I don't know if the raining in her bed. I don't know if he's crying in her bedroom.
Right. These are the eyes of disarray. Would you even care? Well, I mean, she wouldn't if he was dead. If she was dead.
Yeah.
Well, that's true though. If you say if you connect feeling with weather, a lot of people, their feelings go up and down based on the weather, like literally. Like that happens with me. I have seasonal depression. You know,
Yes.
like I'm going to be pretty moody for the next, whatever, and
Yeah.
then spring comes around and I'm like, hey, let's go.
Really?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Although, so anyway, but I think weather can also be metaphorical for circumstances outside of your control.
Yeah.
You know.
Does the rain affect it so that way you can't, like, you know how they say, like, dogs can't go smell, like, if somebody goes through the water? Does it make it harder to find her if it's raining?
Well, I think he's raining in her. I think he's using probably weather as a metaphor for crying in her bedroom, because it's like there's a cloud over her bedroom because he's going there and
Yeah.
she's not there anymore.
Yeah.
And he's asking her if she would care.
It
This-
says, and she feels it, and I feel it, and
I
she
feel
feels
it and she feels it. Yeah, so maybe it's a metaphor. Maybe she broke up with him. This is a very difficult song to decipher. Maybe she broke up with him, and that dog thing is an elaborate way of saying you died to me that night or something like that. So then she doesn't
Yeah.
care about him anymore because she left. And all that's, where are you going with the mask I found?
Then it just keeps repeating the same stuff over and over, so we don't get any new information.
Yeah.
So, or maybe it's a double. Maybe it could be the girl, the murder thing, or the other thing.
I don't think if she was killed that he would be singing it like this.
Why?
He just sounds too calm.
Oh,
I mean, it sounds grungy and kind of depressy sounding. I feel it.
but not really.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't. But like Jeremy, and maybe I'm cross-pollinating here
Yeah.
because maybe the dude, his name is Eddie Vedder.
Yeah.
I found out his name. So the dude from Pearl Jam was like singing his heart out in the Jeremy thing, but that's because the kid killed himself.
Yeah.
If his girlfriend got killed and like found, and the last thing they had was a fight, and he was saying you were wearing a mask this whole time, I just don't think he'd be singing the song like this.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that it was his girlfriend. Like, the Jeremy song wasn't about, like, himself or somebody. It was a story he heard.
Yeah, but he keeps saying she and you.
Oh.
So would you even care? So the song to me is a relationship song somehow, but I don't understand how the death is working with the thing unless he's using it metaphorically.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, this song, the Alice in Chains song hit me. Obviously Jeremy hit. Jeremy was probably
Yeah.
the most meaningful song I've heard in a long time. And I'm glad it's a new song to me because I'm gonna wear it out listening to it. But this song, I don't know. I think the melodies in grunge are very interesting to me. Because it's kind of like, the verses are kind of like, and depressing, and then you have these soaring, feel it, or, you know. So,
yeah.
I like that part about it, but this one was extremely repetitive. It didn't really go anywhere. Lyrically, it didn't go anywhere. It didn't really touch me. If his girlfriend died and he's singing about that, then it definitely doesn't make sense to me because the way he was singing it. But if it was a breakup and he's having to accept that she's gone and that he never really knew her because she had this mask and she doesn't care about him anymore,
then
and he's he's basically
then the tone
saying
makes more sense.
Right, because he's basically saying he's going to wait it out. I have time. I have time to wait for tomorrow. To find her, basically. So when the dogs do find her, it's weird. She goes from being a person to an it.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know if that's what actually it was.
Dogs who find her, we've got time. But maybe he realizes that he doesn't really want her. He just wants love. So maybe he's saying, I don't really want her. I just want love. So I'm going to wait to find love. I don't necessarily need her per se. So that could be it, to find it. That's why the personification goes from that to an object.
Yep.
And which then makes sense for the tone of the song. My girlfriend broke up with me. She's basically dead to me. She doesn't care anymore. And I'm just gonna basically wait it out until I run into love. And that's why the song is you're just kind of sitting there waiting. And that's what I felt like. What do you give this song?
6.
A lot of people were really pushing for this song when I started talking about Grunge Week. Well, a lot of people were talking about this band. I just don't know if this Stone Temple Pilots.
There was a remastered version, and I don't know if that would make a difference or.
I don't know, the constant repetition. I
know I couldn't. Yeah, I was having a hard time with that too.
I think that the chorus is very memorable. Well, that's a pre-chorus, but that's like ingrained in my brain. I remember that. The other stuff, I don't know. What do you give it?
I gave it a 6.
It's an 8.5 for me.
That's a pretty high score.
It is. It's on the higher end. I don't know why I'm giving it an 8.5. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Very high score for something you just were like, about.
Yeah, it's probably 7.5 to be honest with you. 7.5. This is the first grunge song I didn't like.
I know, right after you did an introduction, you were like, I basically like every grunge song.
I know. When Pearl Jam, I said, I have no respect for this band already. They call themselves Pearl Jam, and it turns out to be the most amazing song of the last 9 months for me, so. I don't know. Sorry, guys. So we've got one more day of Grunge Week left. I mean, well, not necessarily one more day of Grunge Week. We're going to do 7 days.
I mean, we were already half into it.
Are there other grunge songs we need to know about? Let us know. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.